The story I would like to tell you about today is about a simple watermelon seed. I know that sounds silly, but please just stick with me. It all starts at my mama and papa's house. We were at their house to start our garden for the year. Their house was a big house that was on a lot of land, and we basically known it as the farm. But at their house, they also had this huge garden. We kept our garden there too because of how much land they had. It's just a family tradition that we go there to plant our garden every year. So we had the garden tilled and we were ready to go and plant seeds. And well, to keep it fair between all the kids, each kid would take a turn planting the seeds in that roll. And so it was my turn to plant watermelon seeds. And so it all started out normal until my papa came up to help me. And my papa was a funny guy. He was well known and everybody loved him. He also had a big round stomach. This is him. That's him right there. You can't really see his stomach, but it was huge. So this is where the story begins. So we were planting watermelon seeds in the garden. We were about a fourth the way up up the roll, and he's like, "Sydney, have you ever wondered why my stomach is so round?" And of course, I was 8 at the time. I was like, "Sure, how?" And he's like, "Well, when I was about your age, my parents didn't tell me what happens when you swallow a watermelon seed. So I had to figure it out for myself." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "Yeah, so I ended up swallowing a watermelon seed one time. And ever since then, this big watermelon has been growing in my stomach." And this story really fascinated me and made so much sense to my 8-year-old mind. And I didn't have any questions, like it just made sense. So you fast forward to that 4th of July, and we were at the training tower at my dad's work, and he's a fireman. And the training tower is where they can conduct drills, and we were on the very top of it watching the fireworks, and we were cutting a watermelon. And I started to freak out because I accidentally swallowed a watermelon seed. Well, my dad was frantically trying to figure out what was wrong with me, and I told him, I was like, "I swallowed a watermelon seed. A watermelon's gonna grow in my stomach." And he's like, "Who told you that?" And I was like, "Well, Papa." And he's like, "That's not how it works." And so he had to sit and explain to me that a watermelon doesn't really grow in your stomach when you swallow a watermelon seed. And that is the story with my famous watermelon seed.